Hello and welcome. I'm Scott with the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society. Lynn and I just previewed 6 whiskeys for the April Outturn 2024 on YouTube. That stream is quite long. It's an hour and 15 minutes or so long. We spend more time, 10, 15 minutes on each whiskey. This is more of a recap of those whiskeys. Lynn, introduce yourself real quick.
Hi, I'm Lynn, the California ambassador.
That's right. Great palate, great whiskey knowledge. Love it. But anyway, first whiskey tonight we looked at was 78.74, a cheeky wee upstart. This one, Distillery 78, to me, normally known for more of a spicy dry profile. I think this was one of those first ones that we've seen from them in our young and sprightly profile. But secondary maturation on this was a second fill X Pedro Jimenez hogshead. And I think we just saw a nice lighter influence from that second fill XPX Pedro Jimenez hogshead on this one came through, and really an odd profile, I think, for Distillery 78.
Yes, got hints of unripe bananas and eucalyptus for this one.
Yeah, very nice. Yep. Not disappointing at all. Second whiskey tonight we looked at was cask number 9.248. A major treat. This was an 18-year-old in our sweet, fruity, and mellow profile. To me, this one, the cask influence on this one at 18 years, it's a first fill ex-bourbon barrel. It's very nice. It hits you right up front on the palate, continued through the finish, just in a great, sweet, fruity, mellow profile.
Yes. And I got some butterscotch and Hokkaido peppers for this one.
Nice. Third whiskey, 55.87 is our cask number on this one. The stage is set. This one is in our spicy and dry profile. And again, a little bit Distillery 55, normally known for more of a sweeter, lighter, sherried whiskey. This one is sherry finished as well, or a secondary maturation from a first fill ex Oloroso. But this was one a little bit different. We took 2 hogsheads, combined 2 ex-bourbon hogsheads with whiskey, combined them into, they were 13 years old. We combined them into that ex-Oloroso butt for 3 years. So 16 years total, but spicy and dry was Oloroso. I think all those notes kind of came through a little bit more subtle though. Just a nice slight influence from that sherry butt. Or sherry, sherry butt.
Yes, and I got salted caramel, butterscotch, brown butter cookies, and it had a little bit of a mushroom umami profile that led to dark plums.
Yeah, and really I think spicy and dry was a perfect profile for that one, and which a lot of times with Oloroso, that's what you're going to get: spicier cinnamons, nutmegs, a nuttiness, things like that. But even that with that double maturation, just 13 ex-bourbon and then 3 years in that Oloroso, I think that just that 3 years, it was a nice, light, subtle influence from that on the Distillery 55. The fourth whiskey we looked at, cask number 95.79, cross-cultural. Again, a double maturation on this one. We were doing, for the year 2024, the SMWS, doing a lot of sherry exploration. Generally, each year we do around 30% of our whiskeys are sherry matured or have a sherry influence on them. This year for 2024, almost 60% of our whiskeys are going to have some sort of a sherry cask influence on them. This one, 95.79, is a 14-year ex-bourbon hogshead and then a first fill ex Pedro Jimenez hogshead. It's in our deep, rich, and dried fruits profile. Perfect profile for this one. Great influence. And I would almost think, it's starting to move towards almost like an exclusive maturation, or almost to that sherry bomb territory that we like to see with sherried whiskeys and having that heavy influence.
Right. So I got European Maju soy sauce and vanilla, a little bit of flambéed bananas on this guy.
Yeah, very nice. Number 5 tonight out of 6 was cask 4.365. You only live once. This was an 11-year-old Highland. This was from several, we've had several casks released where we took several hogsheads, several whiskeys from distillery number 4. We combined them together. We parceled them out into separate casks. This one went into a first fill ex-bourbon barrel, was released at 65.7% ABV, lightly peated, and I think that comes through on the palate on this one. This one to me was a nice, light, honeyed, citrusy vanillas, and a very light peat on it. Not much on the nose, but more on the palate, and just a beautiful example from distillery number 4.
And I got water taffy with hints of strawberries and a whisper of briny smoke and mesquite wood.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, good. And last whiskey tonight, cask number 10.258, Quo Vadis. You said you had to look this one up to see how it was pronounced.
Yes.
Because I would have said Quo Vadis, but this is a 9-year-old double maturation again, ex-bourbon hogshead, and then a first fill ex-Pedro Jimenez hogshead. I believe this one was 5 years ex-bourbon and then 4 years in that Pedro Jimenez. Beautiful, great cask influences. The color showed on this one that Pedro Jimenez influence came through. I thought it was meaty, it was smoky, it was smoked dark or beef short ribs and smoked seafood, leathers and tobaccos. Gorgeous.
Yes, definitely get that cherry wood smoke, and like you said, that smoked seafood, like buttery salmon saltiness coming through for sure.
Yeah, good. All right, and so that is the April Outturn. Thanks everybody that just watched. A quick recap on those 6 whiskeys that we looked at tonight. We'll try to do this more in the future and give you a little bit glimpse of the whiskeys that we try. So until the next time, cheers.
All right.